Good morning. This is Sunday Monologue, and we start with breakfast. The biggest war crime of Israel is this cornflakes. These should be labeled as a war crime. Yes, I don't know what happened to Kellogg's cornflakes, but on the other hand, I decided to support Israel. God knows we're in a minority, a very huge minority. Not only are we a tiny nation, but we are very unliked in the world. It's not that we're not unliked, it's that we are a very small nation, which people that scream genocide do not understand. How can people that we're like 7 million here, what is that, a neighborhood in London? And we have 1.2 billion Muslims that don't think for themselves for the most part, except very few jams here and there, and especially Iranians for some reason. Free Iranians that are out of Iran who are huge supporters of Israel because they know what the Iranian regime does to them and their families. So I think cornflakes, and I have to say, I'm quite shocked. Get to Shiva. I'm quite shocked at the president. I don't know if he's a prime minister. Is it the president? Because it changes. The leader of France. Okay, Paris is no longer French. I think most people know that. Oh, she doesn't want the attention. Paris is no longer France. That is for sure. Paris is done being France. So let me see, what will I show you instead? I'll show you these guys. These people who liberated Jerusalem. And I'll show you these guys. Under fire, continuing to live regular life. So he's fighting in Gaza, and his son is having a break.
Guess the football club in 5 seconds.
I don't know. Argentina.
Lazio.
I don't know. So. So we try to live. So these are the people you hate so much.
Okay, the challenge.
It's clearly unjust what the IDF has been doing to the Palestinians because there's a vast.
So this is Ben Shapiro. So he's fighting with people. I don't want to see this woman too long because I need to eat breakfast. Who's doing bad things to the Palestinians? First of all, few facts. There is no Palestine because they rejected the two-state solution like 5, 6, 7. I lost count how many times. Second of all, Hamas is the one. How much evidence do you need? So they deny October 7th. That never happened, even though they took CNN journalists with them to document October 7th massacres, burning of babies. They took journalists. Are those journalists? I want to understand what is a journalist, because what I understand, it's a reporter. It's not somebody that collaborates with terror. So they took a journalist and kind of made baby beheadings, rapes. I mean, I wonder if the journalist also documented the rapes. I mean, I just wonder what kind of people do such thing. Not only massacre, but they take people to document it and then they deny it. And then you have the leader of France. I really don't remember if it's a president or prime minister, Macron, saying you have to stop killing babies and women. And like, excuse me? Who's doing that? Who's shooting behind women and children? It's the Hamas. Who's preventing them? The Israeli army says evacuate. Did they tell the Israelis on October 7th evacuate? Quite the opposite. They targeted civilians, targeted babies, targeted pregnant women. The Israeli army says evacuate, and the Hamas doesn't let them evacuate. And so it's either we die or they die. So let's say you have a family and you have to decide whether you're going to commit suicide. That's what it is. Commit suicide or shoot the enemy and prevent them from sending rockets over here, because that's what we've had. When you say free Palestine, what about the free hostages? There are babies and children and women held hostage. I don't hear the French leader say anything because he's afraid. The same reason why I heard there were 80 people arrested, protesters against the Hamas supporters. What's happening in England is quite disgusting. Should we look at that? Let me see. London. And let me offer you what happened in the very sacred day of the British people, who remember, they have a very good memory. This is what Armistice Day is. This is to remember the fallen British soldiers.
Is exponential, but it's exponential for so many
Sorry,
different
there's too many
reasons.
commercials in this world. So look, this is what they did. They come into England because look, this is the British. Look how much police you need to protect the British people. Behind a fence. The British people are behind a fence. They're behind a fence. The British flag. This is Armistice Day. They are behind a fence. While the Palestinians, who are calling for the genocide of Jews, are allowed to do whatever they want. And they get arrested. The British get arrested. I have another slogan for you guys. From the desert to the sea, Israel will continue to be free. Tiny, tiny country with every fourth person being a Muslim, yes. And you know what? If they had it so bad, they would have massacred us, but they don't have it so bad. They have better wages here, better conditions, and everything is in Arabic. Wait, let me look at the cereal box for you. Where is it? Look, this is in Arabic. This is in English. It's not always in English. English, Arabic. Right? Arabic. Where is it? That was enough Arabic for one box. But just proof, everything is in Arabic. The streets, the bus, everything is in Arabic. Why? Because every fourth person is an Muslim. And yet, we are called apartheid. How many Jews are in Iraq, Iran? Iran has a few Jews, that's true. I don't know why, actually. But Iraq doesn't have any. Jordan doesn't have any. And Gaza has, the only Jews there are held hostages, as hostages. Babies, women, but that doesn't bother the leader of France. But what poor leadership of the West. So look at this. Yes, I'm normally not right-wing, but what are they calling? I don't really get it. But they're behind a fence. Look how much police, they're guarding them. This is their country. This is their country that was invaded by these Muslims who came to live there. They came to live there. They came to live in the West, and then they do all their pro-terror, pro-Hamas. It's not pro-Palestinian. Let's name the truth. Israel has Palestinians living, whatever they identify as, in East Jerusalem. For the most part, you have every now and then a terrorist murdering Israelis. Every now and then, let's say, at least once a week or at least once a month. We had a 16-year-old terrorist who stabbed a 20-year-old American-Israeli soldier guarding the old city of Jerusalem. She was buried last week, a girl from Georgia. And still Americans are not recognizing the fact that they live with terrorists. A Palestinian is not necessarily a terrorist. It doesn't identify automatically with Hamas. But these people are making this this identification that every Palestinian is supporting the Hamas and the massacre of October 7th, which is disgusting because I wouldn't want people in my name saying that I represent these values or lack of values. They come to the West. I hear there's, 300,000 they were? There's like millions of Muslims living in London. What did they contribute to the British culture? And just let's name the Jews. The list goes on from Amy Winehouse to so many. And music, art, science, I think the guy that discovered the DNA is a Jewish British scientist. We don't hear the Muslims contribute anything but a lot of anger. And the slogan should be, from the desert to the sea, Israel will continue to be free. We're not free people. We have on the northern front now, we have Hezbollah. Why don't they support the Hezbollah? And what about the Syrians? You know how many Palestinians were murdered in the Syrian civil war? I think 500,000. Nothing. Not a word from the French leader, whatever, about all the women and children massacred by Hamas and their friends. And the Queen of Jordan, one child she doesn't take, one Palestinian child. She loves them so much, but she wants them to die because they need martyrs. Now, I'm really confused. They say shaheeds. They're shaheeds. They die, they glorify death, and yet they are angry. There's so many contradictions with their slogans, like Free Palestine. There's no Palestine because you didn't freaking agree to have a Palestinian state because you want the whole area, including the Jewish areas, as Palestine. You do not want to share. You do not want to coexist. Contrary to Israeli Arabs that are living with us. I cannot go down the street and I live in, not an Arab, like I don't live in Haifa or a city that has like a lot of Arabs. But every time I walk down the street, I run into an Arab working here. They come from the villages in the central Israel, sometimes north, and they live here, they work here. There's Arabs who have a shop. I can go with my dog. They even allow the dog to go. We go there from Bakal el Garbia, a village in the north of Israel. They have a shop. People buy there. We give them employment. There's never been a thought, even after October 7th massacre, to ban Arab shops. Do you know that? This is the values we have. We would never take away employment of Arabs. One thing though, they hurt their own economy. They now don't allow illegal workers here because there are a lot of illegal workers from Gaza coming here. No more of that because of what happened. Now I want to say a last thing. Remember that the Israeli soldiers that are killed in the battle are all officers and not like really high rank officers, because in Israeli army, the officers, the leaders lead the people, quite contrary to the Palestinian where they hide or they're in Qatar in a hotel, 5-star hotels. The leaders are ahead. They go ahead. So there was an explosive, the officers are going to go first. They are leading the soldiers. And dogs as well. The dogs are there. And we already had casualties of dogs killed. If you like animals, that's not the side to support the Palestinians. Why so many people support? I don't think they really understand the slogans, and I don't think they know what Zionism is. I don't think they really realize that we have no other place to go. I only have Israeli citizenship, and even people who have dual citizenship. Some of them are, I want to talk about the Polish Israeli, who leads trips of students to the concentration camps. He's been kidnapped. He's a Polish citizen. He's been kidnapped. Where is the government of Poland trying to get him out? I know the Thai government is trying to get their Thai citizens out. Why are the Thai people even kidnapped? Ask yourself that. Because they are terrorists. They kidnap people, murder, behead them. It's ISIS. Palestinian equals Hamas equals ISIS. This is the equation. And if you think otherwise, you're going to be waking up to this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And as I said, there's a movie called Son of Man where you see, it's like a apocalyptic film where you see exactly this, marching through the street, calling for death. These people are the people, look, they're behind a fence. The British are behind a fence. And where are the...
So you've got some knowledge, experience.
So shame on you.
In data
Who should be ashamed? The kidnappers? No. Look at them, shameless. I would say shame on the British people for taking these people in. They're talking about genocide. There's millions of them in London, many more than Jews. There's 1.2 billion of them in the world. There's 14 million Jews in the world, and a lot less since the massacre. And we are losing everyday soldiers fighting against terrorists. And they're, look, the supporters of terrorists, shame, they're unafraid. Why in the world are they allowed to attack the British soldiers on the holy day, the sacred day of armistice, when they are mourning the killing of so many British soldiers in World War I? This is a sacred day to England. Look how they desecrate it. And he's shameless. He's unafraid to attack a British soldier. They don't have any power. They are powerless against the Muslim masses, the extreme Muslim masses. I do not generalize Muslims. They are extremists. A person who supports Palestinian rights to the whole land of Israel is an extremist. He's not for coexistence. He's for destroying the Jewish people, for denying, delegitimizing, and demonizing. And look at them, they're powerless. They're absolutely powerless.
I don't want the cordon to go any further than it already is. If they are moving, just take the pavements, okay? That's what the cordon is. So let's see what that does. We're not going to move against them. There's no cost we're going to push back on resistance.
Look at this. I don't know what's going on. The police are always drama with the Palestinians. I know, these are the British. They're attacking their own people. How crazy is this? Do you know 80 British people are now in prison because they're protesting their right to their own country. Isn't this crazy? These people took over their country and the police are arresting the British. Do you understand how crazy it is? It's like in France, the leader of France is afraid to open his mouth against these people because we know Paris has been taken over by extremists. I was going to Montmartre, the artist area. Forget about the artist. There's no more artist area. There's a tiny little thing. It's full of extremists. They look like Boko Haram, these African extremist Muslims wearing traditional clothes. They deal with drugs. No sane French person would go there. I made a mistake and I got an apartment there for 3 days in 2014. Boy, was that a mistake. Everywhere there was extremist Muslims. In France, they beheaded a minister or a priest in France, and that wasn't in Paris even. And look, they're arresting their own people. How crazy is it? 80 British people are in prison because they are defending their country. So you know what's crazy? With the rockets and everything, I still feel more free in Israel than I do with these people. I wouldn't want to be anywhere outside of Israel. This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But I will tell you, there are people in New Zealand they even fake. They do fake pro Hamas, but the Maori people have been our best supporters. There was supposed to be so you see, the European people are not with us for some reason. Kiwi Palestinians stage rallies across NZ protesting against. Look at them. But the Maori people are with us for the most part. Okay, let's see it. Let's end with this. This is real. These are real. My daughter is there now, by the way. She lives there, works there. This is what I want to start my day with. I want to see this. Because the Palestinians are invaders.